I've had a few questions from some friends to ask me to fully explain how this thing is working. I thought I'd do a little different experiment just to show that this cannot, in any shape, form, or fashion, be doing what they say it'll be doing. Let me turn the machine on here. Now I've got myself hooked up today rather than Mr. Carrot, and what I'm going to do is just place the smallest tip of my little finger into the water to complete the ground, that's coming through here, rather than placing both feet in the water like we typically do when we are subjected to this scam. And but I want you to watch what's going on with the array. Here goes my finger, just a T9C tip of it into the water. Now look at here. You see the quote unquote toxins coming out already, just pouring out of there. Now the question we've got to ask ourselves once again. Now I've got just maybe an eighth of a square inch of my finger into the water versus goodness, let's say a hundred square inches of surface area from my feet. Let's say a million pores versus 500 pores. Can the amount of toxins come out of my body through 500 pores that can come out of a million pores, for instance? Well, obviously the laws of physics totally preclude that from happening. But yet you see this thing kicking off as if I had both feet in the water, and wow, look at here, look what's coming out, look at the cheesy stuff, and blah 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 blah. Now, watch when I take my finger out of the water, the process stops. And basically I have, broken the circuit of what's going on here. Once again, this is strictly electricity, and I complete the current. See, I can get electrocuted, quote unquote, with just the tip of my finger in the water, or I can get electrocuted with both feet in the water if I'm in a bathtub or what have you. Does not matter to electricity. See, that can pass through. That it just needs a ground, and just needs a current. Whereas material toxins, as this would be, would have to come out, like I said, through the pores, and there's just no shape, form, or fashion that this is actually, coming out of my body. Again, the electrolysis is set up when a metal is placed in a ionic bath of water, and then subjected to a electrical current. Here's the electrical current coming through me. I'm just playing like another I'm another piece of wire here. Basically, if I hook this up and put a piece of wire in here, it would do the exact same thing. There would be no difference whatsoever, because once again, this is no shape, form, or fashion. There's toxins coming out of me like they lead us to believe. I was at a home show this weekend, and there was a chiropractor who had 4 or 5 of these things sitting there, and he had people there again lined up, because do we all want to believe we can get something for nothing? Absolutely. He had people lined up, and he hawked me over, and I kind of came over, and he said, why don't you come and detoxify yourself? And I said, no, not thank you for today. And we got to talking a little bit, and I just kind of, to the side, I said, this is not really doing what it says it'll do. And he kind of said, well, but I believe it is. And my response is just like what Abraham Lincoln said one time. He said, if you call a tail a leg, now how many legs does a dog have? Many people, gullible though they are, will say, well, it's got 5. And the true answer is it's got 4, because regardless of what you believe or what you call it, a leg and a tail are not the same thing. A tail is not a leg is not a tail, regardless of what we believe about it. Because I believe this is toxins coming out of me, well, so much for that. But in no shape, form, or fashion is this really happening here. This is just another in the long list of history of scams to prey upon the gullible public that want to believe in their heart that they can have something easy rather than having to change their lifestyle to affect their health. Years and years ago, there was an evil spirit that was infecting you, and come and give this money to me and I will absolve you of this. And then it became, in the last century, they said, oh, no, it's germs that's causing your disease. Come and take this pill and you will be freed of that. And then they said, no, it's viruses. And, they said the earth was flat. Just look at it. You can tell it's flat. They said the sun revolved around the earth. Just look at it. You can see the sun moving, and here we are. But it's just not so. It's just not so. Built and based on a completely false paradigm, or at best, an incomplete paradigm of I can do something external to change something internal. There again, it just doesn't have, oh, look at that big old piece of heavy metal coming out of my little finger there. Oh, goodness, where's my little finger been? That's certainly a mess there. But see, this has been going for just maybe 5 minutes, and you see the discoloration in the water all out of just the smallest bit of my pinky, those big bubbles, the congestion coming out of my lungs or what have you. Again, physically, this can just not be. No way, shape, form, or fashion. If I pulled my finger out and I put both feet in, it would be no different whatsoever, because there again, I'm doing nothing more than completing a electrical circuit, setting up electrolysis of the metal that's in this array right here, causing corrosion. The stuff coming out of here is nothing more than corrosion of that metal, kind of a liquid rust, if you will. And yet people gleefully pay $30 a session to sit there and goo and gaw and laugh and go wowzer, wowzer, wowzer. Just like the snake oil salesman of years went by that would sell bottles of alcohol to clear up rheumatism or the consumption or whatever they called it back then. Again, just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. The people were happy back then because they were drunk. People happy today because they think they've detoxified themselves. But it's just not really going on. Anyway, I hope this clears up a little bit of the issue. See if we can get this again. I'll draw my finger out of here and show it basically everything's ceasing. Place my finger back into it again, and it kicks back on just like I had flipped a switch. Let's see here. I think I've got another little deal. Let me see if I can get this. This will show it if nothing else doesn't. I'm holding a wire. This is a copper wire. Of course, I've got a hold of it, which is going to carry the charge on down through here. Now I'm going to place the wire into the water. And there it goes, see? Now either that wire's been a really bad boy, or again, this is a complete fraud. See, I'm holding the wire, which is basically completing the charge through me into this wire down into the water, and you can see it clicking off. I hope this was helpful.